Hello. Happy weekend. Before I forget, so the 20% off readings sale is going on. Excuse me, it's going to be going on for this entire holiday season. And I didn't really clarify, this also goes for readings for you too. So if you want to treat yourself, which is important just as much as getting gifts for other people, that definitely applies to that as well. And I do still have some openings in the next couple of weeks. So it'd be good to book your reading, and then we can treat you. And of course, if you want to give a reading as a gift, then we could do that as well. Again, I'm running low on spaces post-holiday season for a live reading availability as a gift, but for recorded video, audio, written, or if you just want to give them an early gift, we could do a live reading leading up to the holiday season. We could do that, but better sooner rather than later, because we're only 2 weeks away, really. But yeah, 20% off for all readings. So, okay, let's get into it. So I think first and foremost, today the moon is in Cancer. Mercury and Venus are still conjunct like they have been for several months. We'll talk about Venus going into Capricorn as well as Mercury there. There's a lot of good stuff there. But the big theme, I think, for today, Saturday, is, and even like the beginning of Sunday, is being in touch with our femininity, our emotional availability, being in touch with loved ones, especially our moms or sisters or just really good friends who are female. This is a time where we need to be having these really good conversations with the female members of our family today. And I think it's going to be really natural for these conversations to be very enjoyable. There's really nothing getting in the way here, so it should be quite nurturing. And I think it's interesting because as much as the emotional availability is present with Moon in Cancer, with Mercury and Venus now being in Capricorn, these conversations are going to be about goals. Could be relationship goals, could be, obviously that's like more like a romantic thing, but it could also just be, every relationship in a sense has goals. Setting goals with a loved one. It could be, my mind keeps going to the professional realm. So it could be, and this is a theme for the next 2 weeks, of being able to have good conversations with coworkers and whatnot. But this kind of mentality with Capricorn has to do with every single part of our lives. So having conversations where we set goals, and it could just be even like, I'm working on this, what are you working on? Oh, cool. Especially for today, talking with, again, I think moms are the key part, but again, could be sisters, could be daughters, just female family members. That's a really big theme. And even with male family members, the feminine side of each one of us. Sorry. I guess that literally... Anyways, the feminine side of each one of us that we all have, whether physical or not, that's present, and it's meant to be enjoyed at this time. It's meant to be celebrated. We're supposed to build with our conversations. And I think something else that's really cool about this is Venus going into Capricorn, as it has in the last 24 hours, is we're now starting to really focus on, okay, who are the close loved ones I need to be focusing on? What relationships really have priority in my life? And that might sound harsh, but ultimately in our lives, there are certain relationships that just, maybe blossom for a season, or maybe even with long-term relationships, you kind of gravitate towards one group of friends or a friend or this or that, whoever, a family member even. There are different seasons for different experiences, different conversations, etc. You might be parallel with somebody in certain experiences in a certain way for a certain season or whatever. So it's not to say like you're totally deprioritizing anyone. It's important not to be too calculating or too harsh or cold, because that is the challenge with these particular energies. So that being said, it is just kind of a natural thing. So it's good to be focusing on, okay, I think the key part of helping you to focus on what relationships to really focus on and what kind of gardens to tend to is, what are the goals that you're setting together? So just as a personal example, it's like, I'm starting to record. It's very exciting. I'm going to have like 30 songs out over the next 2 months. And by the way, I will be finally finishing my first book early this next year too. This next year is going to be explosive with awesome manifestation. That's been a long time coming. But yeah, the book in the first 4 months of the year definitely will be finished. I'll have 30 songs out. Even over the next like month, I'm going to have 8 songs, probably another 2. And comes back to my point. So let me just back up real quick. So setting goals in general is really positive with that Mercury and Capricorn. And actually, speaking of female family members, I'm working with my mom on we write songs together with several other bandmates, and it's very spiritual. And so several of those songs, I was even talking with her earlier today, of kind of getting a game plan for recording what is ready, what's not quite ready, what needs some time, etc. So again, this is all very natural. Just focus on what you're building with who, and that'll reinforce those relationships, and it'll naturally progress. So you don't even have to really think about it too much, but that is a benefit to keep in mind. And I think the last thing for today is for tomorrow, Sunday, when the moon goes into Leo. I don't know the exact time. The exact time doesn't really matter. It also changes a little bit around the world, but it's always going to be around the same kind of general time frame. I think by noon, probably even noon Pacific time, I think probably even in later morning, like 9 a.m., 10 a.m., it'll move on into Leo. But most of Sunday will be Leo energy. And that it will be very enjoyable too in its own right, of being more playful, more fun, a lot of laughter, very creative energy. And the sun is in Sagittarius as well. So we are in the waning phases of the full moon. So it should be a pretty chill weekend in general. One that's a bit more internal, more home-oriented, more family-oriented for Saturday. And then Sunday still could be very family-oriented, but again, it's a bit more of an external, emotional energy, and we're connecting with our loved ones in a more bombastic, fun kind of way, as well as other people in our lives. There's people around us if we do find ourselves going out on Sunday. Yeah. Infinite love to you, my friends. Oh, I never said this. Info, I say every fucking video though. Info in the description to book a reading with me for yourself or for a loved one. Infinite love to you, my friends. Namaste. Peace.